Alright. What is up, everybody? Good afternoon. Happy fucking New Year and all that good stuff. So we are setting up for OSUT Day 2 here. Just waiting on the guys to get loaded in. Alright, so we got Bose, Foster, and Stark in so far. Waiting on Montez. Hey, Vert. How's it going, brother? There's that Montez over there. Alright, you guys go ahead and step over here to the left in front of me. In front of me is not my 3 o'clock. Alright. Got everybody in here now. Christ, hopefully you guys get a little bit better at following simple fucking instructions. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do today is head into the classroom, go over some lecture as far as how to actually read a map, how to use some of the different tools that we provide you with, including your micro dagger, which is one of the most important tools that you'll carry on your person. Once we get done with that, we're then going to go through some different patrolling fundamentals, since essentially everything we do is a combat patrol. We're going to teach you how to go through, do a patrol, how to actually report, contact, all of that good stuff, the proper procedure for it. And then we're going to head out to the field, see how you guys actually move through a patrol area, and then go into some different techniques for maneuver, how it differs from movement. And then we're going to put you into an actual live fire situation where you will be engaged by the enemy. Alright, anybody have any questions?
No, for Sergeant.
Alright, follow me into the classroom. Alright, yeah, hopefully you guys are having a decent Sunday afternoon. Oh, my coffee is tasty. Oh yeah, I need to fucking set up a box for these guys. Alright, step inside. Once you're inside, stand by right by the door. Do not move to a seat. Stayed up a bit late last night. You're supposed to stay up tonight. Doing it all wrong, jackass. Let's see, where we at here? Arsenal. Oh, Jerome was streaming Dark Souls? Right on. Alright. Right over there, you guys got a Connex box and a set of boxes under the cargo net. Connex boxes and Arsenal. You guys are going to walk over there and grab a loadout. I am going to assign each one of you a loadout. After you grab your loadout, you will then walk over to those boxes under the cargo net and grab one set of Vector 21 and one radio. Once you have your vectors and your radio, you're going to condition your weapon, sling it on your back, move up front, and grab a seat. Is everybody aware of what you're about to do?
Yes, First Sergeant.
Yes, First Sergeant.
Roger. Stark, you're going to be team lead. Bose, you're going to be AR. Montez, you're Grenadier. Foster, you're Rifleman. Grab your shit, get to your seats.
Yes, First Sergeant.
After a nap, yeah. That's probably the first New Year's in quite a while. I got shit going on, so I actually won't be streaming tonight. Yeah, sounds about right, Vertigo. Alright. Want you guys to go ahead and press M, as in Mike. Open up your maps. Everybody looking at your maps.
First Sergeant.
Yes, First Sergeant.
Alright, I want you guys to go ahead and scroll out with your mouse wheel all the way out. Does everybody see my yellow dot?
First Sergeant.
Yes, First Sergeant.
Alright. Now these lines that you see on the map, those are grid lines. Okay, those grid lines actually have names. The horizontal lines are known as easting lines. Vertical lines are known as northing. So when we read grids on a map, we read from left to right, bottom to top. Okay, so we read northing to easting. Now what you're looking at here is a one-digit grid. So this consists of 10 square kilometers. All right, is the largest grid that you can go by. So the one-digit grid for where we are right now would be 1-1. Again, we're reading left to right, bottom to top. Now, if you zoom in to where you see two numbers pop up along the top and along the side, and you see my little light yellow dot. Everybody see my dot?
Yes, First Sergeant.
Yes, First Sergeant.
All right.
First Sergeant.
Now this, and sorry, the first one is a two-digit grid, not a one-digit. You can't have a one-digit grid. This would be a four-digit grid. All right, you got the two numbers along the top, two numbers along the side. Now again, reading left to right, bottom to top, four-digit grid for where my yellow dot is right here would be 1517. Now a four-digit grid is a 1 square kilometer area. If you continue to zoom in on that area to where you see three numbers pop up along the top and along the side, this is a 6-digit grid. 6-digit grid represents a 100 square meter area. Can anybody tell me the 6-digit grid of where my yellow dot currently is?
First Sergeant.
152
152
174.
174.
That is correct. 152174. Now there is also an 8-digit grid. However, an 8-digit grid is not represented on your map. An 8-digit grid is the most accurate grid reference that you can give, as it's a 10 meter by 10 meter grid reference. However, again, it's not represented on your map, so you have to essentially guesstimate. So the 8-digit grid for where my yellow dot is would be along the lines of 152.9.1748. Now there's a couple of alternative methods to achieve an 8-digit grid without actually giving 8 digits. First of those being sectors. Okay, if you break that square or that grid up into sectors, where my yellow dot currently is, it'd be grid 152.174 northeastern sector. If it was here, it'd be the southwestern sector. If it was here, it'd be the central sector. Alternatively, some guys also use the keypad method. If you imagine the grid as a keypad on your keyboard, then it'd be grid 152.174, keypad 8. Alright, everybody tracking on that?
Yes, First Sergeant.
First Sergeant.
Yes, First Sergeant.
Outstanding. Pretty fucking simple. Now, I want you guys to go ahead and zoom out a little bit there. And look just to the west. Everybody see where my yellow dot is now?
Yes, First
Yes,
Sergeant.
First Sergeant.
Alright. Now, you zoom in just a little bit where you can see the yellow and, or sorry, the brown and red lines. Here. Those lines are known as contour lines. They're there to denote elevation on a two-dimensional surface. Now, those contour lines have different intervals depending upon how close you zoom in on the map. You'll notice down in the bottom right corner in that light gray box, it'll change depending upon how much you zoom in. So where I currently have mine, it says contour interval 5 meters, and down at the bottom it says, has that line and says 100 meters. What that means is it's a 5 meter elevation for every 100 meters in between those lines. Alright, you guys tracking on that?
Yes, First Sergeant.
First Sergeant.
Yes, First Sergeant.
Alright. Now the closer the lines are together, steeper the elevation. Farther apart they are, more gentle the elevation. Pretty fucking simple. Now these contour lines, in a circular fashion, denote a terrain feature commonly known as a hilltop. So anytime you see contour lines in a circular fashion like this, that means up at the top of it, that's a hilltop. Now on top of that hill, right underneath where it says military, there's a number right here. That number is 9-1. Anybody have a guess as to what that number of 9-1 represents?
The highest point.
Well, you're not wrong.
Is it meters there, First Sergeant?
Meters in relation to what?
Sea level.
The elevation.
There you go. Elevation above sea level. So that hilltop is 91 meters above sea level. Now oftentimes, you'll hear us refer to a hill simply by a number. That's the number we're referring to, is the peak of that hill. The peak of every hill has a number. So if you look farther out to the west where my yellow dot is now, we say hill 105, 101, 106. That's what we're talking about. The number on the peak. It's an easy way to identify a hilltop. Now, multiple hilltops strung together, like what you see here, is known as a ridge line, or a ridge complex. Those hilltops are strung together via what is known as a saddle. That's the low point here in between the two hilltops. This is a saddle. Now, coming off of the hilltops here are something known as a spur. So spurs come off of hilltops. In between the spurs, coming down from the saddles, is a draw. Okay, so draws come off of saddles. Spurs come off of hilltops. At the bottom of the draw and the saddle, or the draw and the spurs, is generally going to be a valley. Valleys are surrounded on multiple sides by ridges. Alright, so if you guys zoom out a little bit, you can see ridge complex here, valley in the center. All right, you guys tracking on that?
Yes, sir,
First
Sergeant.
sergeant.
Yes, First Sergeant.
Excellent. Now, valleys are generally going to be where you see the most traffic because it is the path of least resistance. Hence why that is where you will see roads, rivers. It is also where things naturally want to move because, again, it is the path of least resistance. And it is the last place that we move because it is the most dangerous because you have elevation on multiple sides. Anytime we need to move through a valley, we will not move directly down the center of the valley. We move along one of the ridge lines and we move part way up the ridge line. We do not move right over the top of the ridge line. Does anybody have a guess as to why we do not walk along the top of a ridge line?
You don't want to
Sergeant, you want
silhouette
to skylight yourself.
Exactly, you do not want a silhouette. Now the same goes for when we move over the top of a ridge line. So if we were on this southern side of this ridge line and we needed to be on the northern side, we would not go directly over one of these hilltops. We move through the saddle. That way we still have cover on either side. Alternatively, if we were to say be setting up an ambush in this valley, we would make use of this ridge complex. However, we would not sit up on these hilltops to engage. You would set up your ambushing element in this saddle. So again, they have cover on their sides, on their flanks. And you would have a security element up at the top of the hills, ensuring that nothing flanks around you. The actual skirmish line that is going to engage would be down in this saddle, so you have cover and you can drop back behind the hill. And we're going to go over more of that later on as far as cover and concealment and all of that. Now when it comes to these terrain features, hilltops, ridges, saddles, spurs, draws, a very easy way to remember all of this. Right, that is known as the fist method. Alright, no, it's not some kinky porn shit. If you ball your hand up into a fist and look at the back of your hand, your knuckles would be the hilltops. In between your knuckles, that's the saddles. Your fingers are the spurs. Depression between your fingers are the draws. A very simple way to memorize those terrain features. Everybody got it?
Yes, sir, Sergeant.
First sergeant.
Yes, sir, Sergeant.
Alright. Then, what we're going to do next, go ahead and close your maps. I want you guys to press H as in hotel, and this should open up your micro dagger. Everybody seeing your micro dagger in the bottom left of your screen?
Yes, sir,
Yes,
Sergeant.
first
Yes,
sergeant.
sir,
First sergeant.
Alright, it should look exactly like what we have up on screen. So, looking at what we have on screen, this micro dagger will provide you with a couple of key pieces of information. A micro dagger is carried by everyone that goes out in the field, with the exception to squad leaders and above. We carry Android devices. They have a few more functionalities. However, the micro dagger, again, carried by everyone. Now, looking at the micro dagger, at the top center of the screen, it will give you the current in-game time, which right now is 0840 hours. It will give you the current direction you are facing in degrees. Okay, so right now it should be somewhere right around 270, direct west. It will give you your current 6-digit grid, 160, 168. And it will give you the cardinal direction you are looking, which again should be west. Now, one thing to point out here that a lot of guys tend to have a hard time with, especially if they don't have any real experience in this world, there are four numbers that mean absolutely everything to you. Anybody have a guess as to what those four numbers are?
90, 90, 108, 270, and 360.
Exactly, Stark. 90, 180, 270, and 360. Those are the 4 most important fucking numbers in your life when it comes to doing this shit. Being able to memorize those and understand where numbers fall in between them is incredibly important. When someone calls out a bearing and says 167, you need to be able to very quickly understand that that's southeast. And in actuality, it's south-southeast. Alright? So if someone rattles off that, you know, he's at bearing 283, you need to know that's northwest. Alright? It makes it a lot quicker to be able to snap around and pick up that bearing when you understand, okay, 090 is east, 180 is south, 270 is west. You memorize that, you're fucking good to go. Now continuing to look at the micro dagger. If you hold control and press H, it will now open the micro dagger up to the center of your screen instead of the bottom left. Is everybody seeing it in the center of their screen now?
Yes, sir,
For
Sergeant.
Sergeant.
Alright. Now looking at it in what most guys call the full screen mode, you'll notice there's a little gray box. And you can move your cursor around. There's the little yellow line. Well, a green circle is you. That little yellow line is basically attached to that box. That box is providing information on where you're putting your cursor. So if you look down just south of us there, you're going to see a little red marker. A little red marker is known as a Blue Force Tracker marker, or a lot of times guys will just refer to it as a BTM. Those Blue Force Tracker markers are placed by squad leaders and above. Only those of us carrying Android devices can place those markers or delete them. You can still view them with a micro dagger, but you can't do anything with them. Now those BTMs are incredibly useful. They provide us with a ton of information, and we use them a lot. We're able to mark enemy locations, direction of movement, so on and so forth. And once you're comfortable with them and get to learn what the symbols mean, you can also know what type of unit it is. Now looking at that BTM, that number 0840, that denotes what time the marker was put down in game. But it's also a handy way to reference which marker you're talking about. So if someone tells you reference BTM 0840, then you can just look around. Oh, okay, there's 0840. That's the one they're talking about. Now, if you put your cursor over that marker, the numbers in that little gray box are going to provide you all of the information on the location of that marker. So it'll give you the 6-digit grid, 159167. Current elevation above sea level, 15 meters. Current distance, 0.11 kilometers, which is how many meters?
1100%.
Yeah.
Let's try that again. How many meters is 0.11 kilometers?
110.
It will also give you the current bearing, 199 degrees, and the cardinal direction south. So, remember what we talked about yesterday, 3Ds, distance, direction, description. Provided you actually learn what these fucking markers mean, this tool can provide you with all 3 of those. Distance, 110 meters. Direction, 199 degrees. Description, it's a single infantryman. There you go. Now you have all 3 pieces of information you need to engage a target. Now this does not mean that you should have your head buried in your fucking micro dagger. That's not your job. Your job is to kill the fucking bad guy. What it does mean, however, is when your squad leader gets word from another squad or from platoon HQ or so on, for him to take his squad and go engage such and such target, he can tell his team leaders, all right, we're going to go engage squad size element, reference BTM, such and such. Now that team leader can open up his micro dagger, look and see where that blue force marker is, and go. He can then relay to his team, alright, we're going to engage squad size element of foot mobiles at BTM such and such. We're moving bearing 170, 300 meters. And you're good to go. However, it is a good idea to every so often pop that micro dagger open in that full screen mode just to get an eye on what markers are around you, what's going on. It will greatly improve your situational awareness of the battlefield around you and not just what's right in front of your face. Right? Situational awareness is a big, big deal. And anything you can do to improve it is definitely fucking recommended. Does anybody have any questions?
No, First Sergeant.
No, for sure.
No, for
No,
sure.
First Sergeant.
All right. What we're going to do now is move on to some of the fundamentals of patrolling and what we do here. Now, in actuality, there are two different types of a patrol. There's a reconnaissance patrol and a combat patrol. We only do combat patrols. All right, that's what we're here for. We're a combat element. We're not super secret fucking squirrels. We do not do recon patrols. We go out to kill the fucking bad guy. We know we are going to be engaged every single time we go out, so we only do combat patrols. Now, there are 5 principles of a patrol. There's planning, recon, security, control, and lastly, and most fucking importantly, common goddamn sense. Now, planning. We always go into a patrol or an operation, if you will, with a plan. And yes, the saying is true, no plan survives first contact. However, the better your plan is, the more it's going to hold together. And that includes contingencies. So we always go into an operation with a plan. We plan days ahead of time for what we're going to be doing. Next is recon. Now notice, I said we don't do a recon patrol. However, that doesn't mean we don't do any recon whatsoever. You have to do recon, okay? Our recon is going to consist of whether it be eyes on, map reconnaissance, or what is generally used, air reconnaissance. That is what some of our air assets are the absolute best at, is reconnaissance. They provide us with more information than we could ever gather ourselves. Now, the next part of a patrol is security. Maintaining 360-degree security at all times is absolutely vital. Okay, now what we mean by that, 360 security isn't just, okay, let's set up in a circle. 360 security being maintained at all times means that even when you're in the middle of a firefight or the element you're with is in the middle of a firefight, you're not dropping your fucking sector because you want to go play Rambo. Alright, if you're told you watch this direction and your buddies back behind you start popping off rounds, that does not mean turn the fuck around and go over there and start shooting at guys with them. If they don't ask for your help, then stay where the hell you are and maintain your sector. Because I guarantee you, the second you drop your sector is when Murphy is going to come up and kick you right in the nuts. Does anybody know who Murphy is? No? Murphy is Murphy's fucking law. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong. The second you drop a sector, it's going to go wrong. Right? That is the mainstay of maintaining 360 security. Do not get distracted. Next is control. We do our best to always be in control of our elements. Okay? Making sure that guys aren't fucking running off on their own. Again, going to try play fucking John Rambo or some stupid shit like that. And a big part of that is discipline. And as I told you guys yesterday, we can't do this without discipline. Maintaining control is a big part of that. Lastly, as I said, is common sense. Alright? I personally say that common sense is a fucking superpower. Very few of us actually possess it. But those of us that do have the unfortunate responsibility of carrying the weight of the window-licking fucking retards that don't. So I guarantee you, if you do have common sense, it will serve you well. If you don't, enjoy the ass chewings from me later on in your career, because it will happen. Now when it comes to a combat patrol, there are 3 elements to a combat patrol. There are 3 types of a combat patrol. There's an assault, a raid, and there's an ambush. All operations can be broken down into one of those 3 things. Does not matter how complex, how simple the operation may seem, it is one of those 3. Either an assault, a raid, or an ambush. That's simple. There's no fucking gray area. An assault is an attack in which you are maintaining or occupying that position. So it means that castle, I'm going to go take it. And I'm sleeping there tonight. A raid is an attack with a planned withdraw. So that castle, I'm going to go burn it to the ground and then fucking leave. Ambush, pretty simple. You're ambushing a mobile unit, generally along a road or in a valley, something along those lines. And then you fucking leave. Alright, any questions on the 3 types of combat patrols?
No, First Sergeant.
No, First Sergeant.
No, First Sergeant.
Alright. Now when we're on patrol, or when we're in an operation, one of the most important things that we do is a technique known as fire and maneuver. Okay, fire and maneuver has been the mainstay of the United States military since Vietnam. It's also known as cover and move, right? Now in fire and maneuver, there's 3 main elements. There's the assault element, support element, and the security element. Now, when we're in movement, or better known as traveling, understand that that is something completely different from maneuver. Right? So movement or traveling is different from maneuver. Traveling is simply you fucking having a jolly walk through the forest. Maneuver means someone is fucking shooting at you. So you are now maneuvering on them. Alright, you guys understand the distinction between the 2?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
First
First
Sergeant.
Sergeant.
Yes,
First
First
Sergeant.
Sergeant.
Alright. Now in fire and maneuver, again, maneuver, so this means you're engaged. You have the assault, support, and security element. Now the assault element during traveling is generally going to be towards the rear of the element. Okay, so they're going to be at the back of the formation, if you will. The support element, they're going to be towards the front, because you want the support element to be the first one getting engaged, because they're the ones that lay down the base of fire so that the assault element can maneuver. Security element generally is going to make up the body of the formation, because they're the ones that are going to set up security firstly around the support element. So as soon as the engagement begins, the support element is going to push up and create what's known as a skirmish line. All right, horizontal line, essentially shoulder to shoulder. Support element's going to push up, create a skirmish line, and provide a base of fire. At the same time that they're doing that, the security element is going to set up security on their flanks and their rear so that they can put all of their focus forward to engage the enemy. While the security element is doing their thing, the assault element is maneuvering. Right? They don't wait for the support element to set up, get fire going, nothing. As soon as it kicks off, the assault element is going to start maneuvering. And they're going to maneuver around the flank of the enemy. That is the fundamental of fire and maneuver. One element supports, one element provides security, one element maneuvers. Even when you break it down to a squad level, okay, so you got 2 fire teams. One fire team is going to provide fire support or provide a base of fire. The other fire team is going to maneuver. The squad leader and the medic, their job is security. All right, you guys understand it?
Yes,
First
sir.
sergeant.
Yes, First Sergeant.
Excellent. Now, while we're out there and maneuvering, there's a couple of different techniques that we use. Firstly is bounding. We always use bounding Overwatch. There is just regular bounding, and then there's bounding Overwatch. There is a difference. However, when guys say, all right, let's bound, what they're actually saying is bounding Overwatch. Just most guys don't know the fucking difference. So for us, we use 2 different techniques of bounding. There's alternating bounding and successive bounding. Alternating bounding is a way to move quicker across a larger open area, but it is also more dangerous because in alternating bounding, you have one element leapfrogging the other. Okay, so if you imagine that skirmish line I was talking about earlier, guys all shoulder to shoulder. If the guys on the right bound forward to the next piece of cover and then stop, they then provide cover as the guys on the left bound beyond them to the next piece of cover. All right, it's a big game of leapfrog. Alternatively, in successive bounding, you move up online with each other. So it's a slower rate of movement, but it's much safer. So in successive bounding, you start online with each other, and the element on the right bounds up to a piece of cover. Once they're set and covering, then the element on the left is going to bound up online with them and get behind cover. All right, you guys tracking?
Yes,
First
Yes,
sergeant.
First Sergeant.
All right. Now, next method we use is known as peeling. Now, there's a very easy way to distinguish these two. Think of bounding as a way to move vertically, peeling as a way to move horizontally. Okay. Now, sometimes you will hear guys say when they're moving rearward that they're peeling back, which is what it is. But to keep it simple, bounding is moving vertically, peeling is moving horizontally. So again, if you imagine that skirmish line, or imagine the line you guys are sitting in right now, actually, if you guys were to peel, and you were told peel left, Stark is on the extreme right of your line right now. So if you guys are going left, he needs to be the first one to move. So he would call peeling left and get up and run behind the skirmish line. Now as soon as he got to Montez, he would call last man. That lets Montez know he is now the extreme right of the formation. He needs to get up and move. He doesn't wait for Stark to get all the way the fuck down to the left end of the formation before he moves. As soon as you hear last man, you get the fuck up and peel. And you just go right on down the line, maintaining your spacing. So if Stark were to peel, he said peeling left, got up, ran behind Montez, called last man. When he gets about the same spacing off of Bose as what you guys are spaced out right now, he'd hit the deck or get behind cover, whatever, and provide security. All right, again, just a big game of leapfrog, but you're moving horizontally rather than vertically. All right, making sense?
Yes, First Sergeant.
First sergeant.
First sergeant.
Yes, First Sergeant.
All right. Now, really the last method of maneuver that is used, but not very often, is known as a 3-second rush. Now, a 3-second rush is your absolute last fucking resort. Because a 3-second rush is only used in total open ground, meaning you have no cover to move to whatsoever. Now, for a 3-second rush, what it means is if you're walking through a big open fucking field and you start taking rounds, what's the first thing you should do?
Hit the deck.
Exactly. Put your face in the fucking dirt. However, it doesn't mean you just want to lay out there in an open fucking field forever. You still need to move. Now, if you have no cover to move to, 3-second rush is your best option. So what you're going to do is you stand up, run your fucking ass off for 3 seconds, and then hit the deck again. Easy way to remember how long it is? Use this phrase. I'm up, they see me, I'm down. When you say I'm down, that means your dick is in the dirt. I'm up, they see me, I'm down. That'll give you a 3-second rush. Does anybody have a guess as to why we do a 3-second rush?
By 3 seconds, the enemy's probably got their sights on you again.
There you go. It takes a person on average 3 seconds to accurately engage a human-sized target. That is how long it takes you to register there is a target presented, ready your weapon, and engage. 3 seconds. So, if you're out there with your ass in the wind, and you got no choice, you get up and run for 3 seconds and get the fuck back down. Alright, that is a 3-second rush. And it is the last thing you want to do. Now, as I said, it would be going over the difference between cover and concealment and all of that. Anybody can tell me what the difference is between cover and concealment?
Cover is hard protection and concealment's possibly soft but hidden.
Alright, well, it's not your dick, so let's simplify it between hard and soft. Cover stops a bullet. Concealment don't. That's simple. Now, the best form of cover is what we refer to as defilade. Alright, anybody ever heard the term defilade before? You guys heard that?
Yes, for Sergeant.
Yes, for Sergeant.
Alright. Defilade, in layman's terms, means putting the fucking earth between you and the enemy. Alright, because I don't care how big their gun is, they're not going to shoot through a mountain. So, if someone tells you to get behind defilade, what they mean is put the earth or the ground between you and the motherfucker shooting at you. Now, that does not mean that you cannot be injured behind defilade. Right? There is something known as IDF, indirect fire, mortars, artillery, grenade launchers, shit like that. That is specifically designed to go over the top of defilade. However, defilade is still always going to be your best choice. Concrete walls are nice, but tanks can shoot through a concrete wall. They can't shoot through a mountain. Now, concealment, as I said, doesn't stop a bullet. And like we talked about yesterday with smoke, okay, we use smoke for concealment to mask your position and your movement from that position. It does not stop a fucking bullet. So, again, do not think that that smoke or that pretty purple fucking bush is going to stop the enemy from shooting you. If he knows you're there, he can still hit you. Now, the last part of this, when it comes to cover, concealment, and so on, something we already touched on, moving along the tops of hills, along the tops of ridge lines and stuff. Okay? We never move right along the top. If we do have to go over the top of a piece of elevation, we get down on our belly and crawl over the top until we know there is not any enemies on the other side. Okay? Majority of the time you'll hear guys say, alright, take it low and slow. What they mean is crawl like a fucking slug over the top of that hill to make sure there's nobody on the other side that wants to shoot us in the face. The last thing you want to do is walk right up over the top of that hill and look like a happy little fucking tree in a Bob Ross painting. Because skylining will get you killed every fucking time. It makes you a massive target. Alright. Any questions on cover or concealment?
No, for
For
Sergeant.
Sergeant.
No, for Sergeant.
Alright. The next thing we're going to go over is some of the different reports that we use to relay information when we're out there in the field. All right. Now, the first one of those being an ADIRAC report. ADIRAC stands for Alert, Direction, Description, Range, Assignment, and Control. Now, very simply, ADIRAC boiled down is the 3 Ds. Distance, Direction, Description. Okay? So, while an ADIRAC report sounds great, makes you sound all tactical and shit, that's awesome. Give us distance, direction, description, and we'll fucking kill it. Alright, so even if you do have military experience and want to get your tactical hard on with the fucking ADIRAC report, nobody's got time for that shit. If there's someone shooting at us, give us the important stuff and we'll go kill them. However, one thing that we will not allow slacking on, when it comes to calling a target or something that you see while out in the field, understand that there is a difference between movement, contacts, friendlies, and civilians. Okay? If you just see something moving through the trees, then it's just movement. Call it as exactly that. You have no idea what the fuck it is, so call it as movement. I got movement bearing 137. That's fine. We don't have to know exactly what it is. We can get our rifles ready and be prepared if it is somebody we need to engage, but don't call it as a fucking contact. A contact is someone who you are engaging or is currently engaging you, or they are imminently going to be engaged, meaning they're fucking 50 meters from you. You're about to be in a firefight within the next second. That is a goddamn contact. Right? It's a quick way to piss guys off when you call a contact and they're 500 meters away and their back is to you. That's not a goddamn contact. When we make contact, it's because there's bullets flying through the fucking air. Does everybody understand that?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Start.
Sergeant.
Start.
Alright. Next, obviously friendlies are exactly that. Friendlies. You call them as that. Very simple. Civilians, however, guys tend to get fucked up on a little bit. If they are a civilian, then they are exactly that. A civilian. A non-combatant. That does not mean a civilian cannot be armed. We do operate in areas where civilians are allowed to carry weapons. Weapons that you would not see in your normal everyday fucking life walking down whatever goddamn street in USA. So do not call a civilian as a contact. Right? No such thing exists. A civilian contact does not exist. They're either a civilian or they're a contact. If they're not shooting at you and they're wearing civilian clothes, then they're a fucking civilian. If they're wearing civilian clothes and they're shooting at you, then they're not a civilian. They're a fucking contact. Shoot them in the goddamn face. However, you do need to use some common sense. Right? You do not farm fucking goats with an RPG. You don't herd sheep with a PKM machine gun. So even if they're wearing civilian clothes, if they're walking around with a fucking rocket-propelled grenade, shoot them. Does everybody understand that?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Sergeant.
sir. Start.
Alright. Now the last thing to go over here is when it comes to operating in towns, around civilians, stuff like that, oftentimes guys will have the misconception that the United States military will not engage a holy building. That is 100% not true. As far as the military is concerned, if that building is occupied by the enemy, it is no longer a fucking holy building. That is an enemy fortified structure. We will do whatever needs to be done to eliminate that threat. What that means is, if there is, say, a marksman up on the top of a minaret tower, That is no longer a minaret tower. It's a sniper's perch. We will put as many rounds into that fucking thing as we need to kill him. That includes all the way up to a fucking GPU if need be. Alright? So I don't care if it's a mosque, a synagogue, a Southern Baptist fucking church. If there's bad guys inside of it and they are shooting at my guys, they are going to be dead one way or another. Does everybody understand that?
Yes, for
First
sure.
sergeant. First sergeant.
Alright. Now when it comes to all of that engaging, oftentimes, or the majority of the time after an engagement, you're going to be asked for an ACE report. ACE stands for Ammo, Casualties, and Equipment. So generally what will happen is it's going to come down the chain of command to your team leader. We need an ACE report. Your team leader is going to say, all right, give me an ACE. You're then going to rattle off how you're doing for ammo, if you're injured, and how your equipment is. All right, we use a color-coded system. Green meaning you're good, yellow meaning you're all right, red meaning you're getting pretty fucking low, and black means you're out. So, again, ACE report, usually going to be called for after every major engagement. Alright. Next, we have a salute report. Salute report is essentially the 3Ds more detailed. Okay. So, a salute report is something you would use when you're not currently engaged. So, if you're in a position, say an Overwatch position, and you get eyes on a squad size element of foot mobiles 500 meters out, and they have no idea you're there, that's when you're going to use a salute report, because it's not dire that you get that information across quickly. All right, so a salute report consists of size, activity, location, unit, time, and equipment. All right, so size, what size element is it that you're calling out? Is it a fire team? Is it a squad? Is it a fucking platoon? Is it an individual? What size element are you seeing? Activity, what are they doing? Do they look like they're patrolling around? Are they stationary? Do they look like they're on guard? Are they just hanging out bullshitting? Location, where exactly they are in relation to you or friendlies. Preferably use 6-digit grids if you can. If not, give reference buildings. Okay, this is big. If you can't say, grid such and such, give a fucking reference to where you're looking. I don't care if you say the tallest orange tree on the far ridge line. It's something to grab someone's visual attention. Next is unit. What type of unit is it? Okay, is it a machine gunner? Is it a tank? Is it a ZSU? So on. Time. How long ago did you see them? Okay, that's incredibly important. If you say, we got a squad size element, looks like they're on patrol, grid such and such, seen them 5 mics ago, well, now we know they're no longer in that fucking position because they're on a patrol path. They're walking around somewhere out there. Lastly is equipment. Equipment is very important when it comes to deciding who is going to engage what. Okay, so again, with the example of a squad size element, okay, how many of those guys are carrying PKMs? How many of those guys are carrying RPGs? Does anybody with them have an RPG pack that's got extra rounds in it? How many of those guys are carrying GP25 grenade launchers? How many of them have just regular AK-47s? Do any of them have any type of magnified optics? That shit becomes incredibly important because you're always going to engage the largest threat with the biggest weapon system you have. Because at the end of the day, we do not fucking fight fair. Alright, so if there's a squad out there and one of them is carrying a PKM machine gun, then we're going to put 5 fucking rifles on him. So there isn't a chance that he gets a round off with that machine gun. If there's an RPG out there, we're going to put a couple rifles on him so he can't get a fucking grenade off on us. Same goes for guys with GP25s. Alright, you always engage the biggest threat with the biggest weapon system you have available. Alright? Anybody have any questions on that?
No, for Sergeant.
No for Sergeant.
Alright. Now the next part when it comes to all this communication and these reports is known as echoing orders. Alright? Echoing orders, pretty self-explanatory. Alright? When you, say you're a team leader, when you receive an order from your squad leader, you echo that exact order down to your guys. Okay, the rest of the guys in your fire team. And you echo it word for fucking word. At no point in time should your guys ever be less informed than what you are. If anything, you're going to add more information to it. So, for example, if your squad leader says, okay, we're moving to Blue Force marker such and such, Alpha, you're on point, Bravo, you're trailing. Those team leaders are going to relay that message to their team. However, squad leader didn't tell them what formation to be in, what pace to move at, none of that. That's what team leaders are there for. Okay, so that team leader, say Alpha's team lead, who's on point, he then makes the decision and tells his team while he's echoing that order, all right, we're moving to BTM such and such. We're going to take a bearing of 171 for 300 meters. Give me a wedge strong right, jogging pace, weapons down. All right, so now he took that very simple order from the squad leader of, all right, move us to BTM such and such, Alpha, you're on point, Bravo, you're trailing, and added that more information. He didn't just say, all right, we're moving, follow me. All right, when guys do that as a team leader, when you say, all right, we're moving, follow me, that is an exact dog shit job of being a team leader. That is the worst thing you can do, is leave your guys in the dark. Now the same goes for echoing the order back up. However, obviously you don't need to be as detailed, because echoing the order back up means back up to the guy that just gave you the fucking order. So essentially you don't need to echo the order back up, but you need to confirm that you received it and that you're carrying it out. Right? Again, remember the pro words from yesterday, Wilco. That's where that comes into play. So if you're a team leader and your squad leader gives you a move order, then you relay that order down to your guys with as much detail as is needed, and then you respond back to your squad leader, Wilco. Or, you know, Roger, we're moving, whatever. But you confirm that you have received that order and that you're carrying it out. If you receive an order, you do not just say Roger. All right, remember, Roger just means I heard you. So that guy that just gave you that order, it does dick all for him just saying Roger, because all that means is I fucking heard you. Doesn't mean you're doing it. Now, alternatively, if you receive an order and you cannot carry it out, so if your squad leader gives you a move order and you're too heavily engaged to make that move, then you need to notify them. You need to get back on the radio with them and say, you know, negative, we're decisively engaged, we cannot move. All right, you guys understanding that?
Yes,
For Sergeant.
Yes for Sergeant.
All right. Now the last thing is verbalizing your actions. Okay, verbalizing your actions is incredibly important when it comes to ArmA, especially. Okay, because you don't have the same situational awareness and the same peripheral that you have in real life. Okay, so it becomes very, very important to call out everything that you're doing. So if you're reloading, call out that you're reloading. I can't hear you drop your mag next to me. So you have to call out that you're reloading so that I know your gun is down. If you're covering a certain sector, then fucking call it out. it's a lot more of a pain in the ass to look over my shoulder and see, okay, is that my battle buddy or not? Because I can't recognize his fucking face in this game. If you're bounding, then call out that you're fucking bounding. If you're peeling, call out that you're peeling. But this serves two purposes. As I said, one, you don't have the same peripheral as what you do in real life. Two, it lets us know you're still alive. Or if you're one of those guys who's a little bit pussyfooted on the radio and you don't like to talk very much, the day is going to come where you're going to get fucking knocked out and your battle buddy is so used to you never opening your fucking mouth that he's going to leave you sitting there for a few minutes before he ever realizes, oh shit, he's knocked out. And by the time they do realize it, there's a good goddamn chance you've already bled to death. Alright, so make sure you verbalize your actions. If you're not doing anything, and it's been a minute since anybody's talked on the radio, then just check in on everybody. Say, hey, how's everybody doing? Just check in. Make sure everybody else is good. Make sure everybody knows you're good. Alright, everybody tracking on that?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
First sergeant.
First sergeant.
Yes, for sergeant.
Alright. What we're going to do now that I'm actually looking at you guys, how is it that I have two of you that are capable of understanding how this works? What did you guys do with your cover yesterday when you came into this fucking building?
Oh,
Take it off, First
Take
sergeant.
it off, First sergeant.
Yeah. I don't think you guys have any concerns of shrapnel inside the classroom. The iPro doesn't need to be here either. Montez, the iPro is your glasses that you're wearing. There you go.
for sergeant.
If there is a roof over your head, then there isn't a cover on it. It's that simple. You go indoors, everything on your head comes off. Step out that door, put your fucking cover back on. Alright? Everybody understand that?
Yes,
Yes,
for
sir,
sergeant.
Sergeant.
First sergeant.
First sergeant.
Alright. So what we're going to do now, head out to the field, show you guys some examples of how to cross danger areas, how to properly set up securities, perform halts, and then we're going to see how you guys do when it comes to actually maneuvering. Alright, so use your scroll wheel, get up off your ass, and follow me. All right. And Krieger, thank you for the follow. Sorry I missed it. I was a little busy running my cock flaps. Oh, I thought that was the fucking day one thing. Alright, guys are going to approach the second flagpole. It's the flag that, or the flagpole that's got the white flag on top of it. Walk up to this, select the movement course, and teleport out there. Once you're there, remain where the fuck you are. Alright, follow me. Alright. Now while we're on patrol, out in the field, you will come across things known as LDAs, linear danger areas. Okay, LDAs are things like roads, doorways, alleyways, shit like that. Okay, now, if there is a possibility of enemies being positioned somewhere along that danger area, then we need to set up a danger area crossing. That means we need to set up security. Now what you see behind me is an example of security on a danger area. In order to do this, when a squad is approaching that danger area, the point team, before reaching the fucking danger area, are going to decide who is covering what direction, who's going on what side of the road, and so on. Now the majority of the time, since team leaders are usually the point man, they are going to be on what is known as the near side of the road, which is where you are. So they have near side security. Now, the natural battle buddy to the team leader is the AR. So the team leader and the AR set up near side security. That is the two guys that are on my left and right. They're the first ones to set up. The other two do not cross the fucking road until near side security is set. It kind of defeats the fucking purpose of having security if two jackasses are going to go running across the road before rifles are even pointed down range. So, team leader and the AR, being at the front of the formation anyways, will run up here, set up security. As soon as they have security set, the team leader will call on TeamNet, near side security set. Once the Grenadier and Riflemen hear that, they'll move across the road, in this gap. And you would think that's common sense, but I have seen some window-licking motherfuckers decide they want to cross the road in front of the light machine gun that their buddy is carrying. Now, does anybody have a guess as to why that would be a bad fucking idea?
Might get shot and it screws up his line of vision.
Exactly. If you go crossing in front of, say, that guy right there, and a target presents itself down there, now both of you are going to get shot because you're a dumbass. So when you cross, you go through this gap. Okay, think of it as somebody is opening the door for you. Don't be an asshole and go through a different door. Now once the other two cross the road, if there is any type of hide on the other side of the road, they are going to clear it. Now a hide would be something like the rock wall over on the far side there, because an enemy can hide behind it. So when the Grenadier and Riflemen push across the road, they're going to move all the way over and check the back side of that wall right there, just to make sure there isn't a sneaky asshole hiding behind it. Once they have done that, they will move back to where you see them there on the far side. They now have far side security set and will radio to the team leader that far side security is set. Once they do that, then the team leader will call the squad leader and call danger area secured. Once the squad leader hears that, then he will push up his squad. What that will consist of is the trailing team that was behind them will now become the point team, and they will move through this danger area, preferably still in formation. So when you set up security like you see these guys, make sure there's a good sized gap in between you so that guys can move through in formation. They'll move through and they will not stop. They will just keep on walking. Then the squad leader and the medic will follow behind them. When the squad leader gets here, he'll call last man. Anybody have a guess as to what it means when he calls last man?
You're the farthest guy back and you need to start peeling.
Pretty much. When the squad leader gets by here and calls last man, that tells these guys on this side of the road, he's the last guy coming through the danger area. You're good to move. That does not mean the two fucks on the other side of the road, the far side, get to move. Okay? Again, just like with setting up near side security, if those guys move and these guys are still on this side of the road, it's fucking pointless. Now you don't have security and these guys are crossing the road without security. So when the squad leader comes through here, he calls last man. Near side security picks up and moves. When the team leader gets to the other side of the road, he calls last man. Guess what? That means the far side security can fucking move. And then you guys fall into your formation and keep moving. Now it's a very long and complex explanation of how to do this. However, when it's done properly, you can cross a danger area in less than a minute. No fucking problem. Because you flow right across it. Okay, at no point in time, the thing that takes the longest amount of time is the two guys setting up far side security having to go check a hide and then come back. Now, while they're doing all of this, while they're setting up security, the other team, the trailing team, is going to be back there in a short halt posture. Short halt means you're halting for a short amount of time. All right, you're not going to be there long. You're going to be there for a few seconds waiting on, guys to set up security on a danger crossing. So they're not going to break their formation. They're going to sit back there out where that white tent is and wait for these guys to set up security. As soon as they have security set and they get word from the squad leader, they're going to move right around the squad leader, take point, fall into possibly a new formation depending upon what they were in while they're moving, and move right through this danger area. Then the squad leader and medic are right on their heels. And then these guys follow right behind them. Alright, you guys tracking?
Yes, for
Yes,
sure.
Yes, for Sergeant.
Alright, let's move on. Step it up to a jog. Now, when you guys get to a position that you're going to be hanging out for a minute, you're going to fall into a long halt posture. Long halt posture means you're going to set up 360 security. Now, this is an example of how to set up 360 security in the open. Okay? If you have cover available, fucking use it. Okay? Again, this is an example of how to set up security out in the open. If you have trees around you, or even these fucking rock walls, use them. However, if you are out in the open, set up 360 just like what you see here. The point fire team has two guys facing 12 o'clock, one guy facing 9, one guy facing 3. Trailing team has two guys facing 6, one guy facing 9, one guy facing 3. This is done so that everyone has overlapping fields of fire. So if a target fucking pops up over there, the guys at 9 o'clock and 6 o'clock can engage it. If a target pops up over there, guys at 12 o'clock and 9 o'clock can engage it. If something pops up right behind you guys, both guys at 6 o'clock can engage it. And also the medic can engage it because he's looking back there too. Right, there is no area or no bearing where a target can pop up that it cannot be engaged when you're set up like this. Everybody tracking on that?
Yes, for sure.
Sergeant.
Yes, for Sergeant.
All right. Now, very quickly, we're going to run back over to that danger crossing we were at so I can point something out to you guys. So follow me. All right. Now, as I said, when those guys set up far side security, they come back, get their position, and then they call on the radio that far side security is set. Anybody have a guess as to why they call on the radio that far side security is set?
The whole team hears it.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Any other guesses?
You're not yelling out like an idiot there, First Sergeant.
Why am I hearing a goddamn echo in your microphone?
Not sure there, First Sergeant.
Sounds like you're still using fucking in-game voice or some shit. Alright. Simple reason why they call on the radio that far side security is set, because these two guys aren't fucking looking at them. When you set up security on the near side, you're looking down the fucking road. Right? You're not looking over your shoulder at what your guys are doing over on the other side of the road. They will tell you what the fuck they're doing. Same goes for when you're bounding. Right? When the other guys say they're bounding, then that means they're fucking moving. You do not need to look over at them and see if they're doing it. Cover your sector. Alright? The reason I want to point this out is I want you guys to look around here. Alright? All up and down this road and stuff. You guys see all these rock walls, boulders, shit like that that's down the roads on either side? Those are hides. Okay? So, if you're on this near side set up doing security, and the other two guys in your team go across the street, and they're dicking around back there clearing the hide and stuff, and you decide, oh, well, instead of covering my sector down the road there and, making sure nothing comes rolling up on us, I'm gonna, say fuck it and look over there and see what the hell they're doing because I'm bored. And then a BTR rolls up down the fucking road there. It's gonna be a shitty situation considering you're not even gonna know it's there until it starts fucking shooting at you. Alright? So again, don't get distracted and sit there and stare at what the guys are doing next to you. Just cover your sector. Alright? Any questions?
No, for
First
Sergeant.
Sergeant.
First Sergeant.
Alright. Follow me. Alright. So what we're going to do now is actually go on a short little patrol here. However, before we can do that, we need to do your PCCs, pre-combat checks. Now, in order to do that properly, you're going to fall into formation. Now, to fall into formation, you're going to get team leader, AR, grenadier, and rifleman in a single file line. There you go. Take a knee. Close it in, nut to butt. Don't be fucking shy. Now, your guys' radio net for your fire team is going to be 100.1. That is the only net that all of you need with exception to Stark. Stark is the team leader. So he's got the responsibility of monitoring multiple nets because he needs to be on fire team net and squad net. So all of you are going to set your primary channel up to 100.1. Go ahead and do that now. Now Stark, you're going to set up your additional net as 100. That is squad net. Now, as I told you guys yesterday, you don't have a calling station at a fire team level. You just use your names. However, at a squad level, everybody has a calling station. So, since you're the first team, you're Alpha. So, Stark, you are only known as Alpha on SquadNet. That is it. You do not have a fucking name. Your squad leader is going to be referred to as Actual. That is it. They do not have a name. Sometimes you'll hear guys call them by their squad and then Actual. So if you're second squad, first platoon, you'll hear them say 1-2 Actual. That's second squad, first platoon, squad leader. All right, you understanding?
Yes, sir.
First sergeant.
Yes, for
All right.
sure.
So, first thing you guys are going to do, go through, do your radio checks. So, do just like we did yesterday, go right down the line. Stark, Bose, right down the line, all right? Once you're done with your fire team radio checks, then you need to do a radio check on SquadNet with me. All right? Make sense?
Yes, sir, Sergeant.
First sergeant.
All right.
Can I get the radio frequencies first, Sergeant? I accidentally cleared it.
100.1.
Thank you, First Sergeant.
All right, Stark. Make it happen.
To any station in this net, this is Alpha. Radio check on frequency 100.1 over.
Alpha, this is Bose. Radio check frequency 100.1. Loud and clear, over.
Copy, out.
Montez, this is Bose. Radio check frequency 100.1. Over. Montez, this is Bose. Nothing heard out.
Bose, this is Montez. Read you, Lima Charlie 1001, out.
Montez, this is Bose. Radio check frequency 100.1. Over.
Bose, this is Montez. Read you, Lima Charlie 1001, out.
Montez, this is Bose. Radio check, loud and clear, out.
Foster, this is Montez.
Jesus Christ.
Radio check on 1001, over.
Montez, this is Foster. Read you Lima Charlie on frequency 100.1. Over.
Solid copy.
Alpha, this is Foster. Radio check on frequency 100.1. Over.
Foster, this is Alpha. Radio 5x5 on 100.1. Out, over.
Solid copy, out.
Actual, this is Alpha. Radio check on frequency 100, over.
All right. I've seen motherfuckers with colostomy bags shit the bed less than that. So we're going to try that again from the top. And hopefully you guys don't sound like a bunch of retards fucking doorknobs. So, Stark, start it all over again.
To any station in this net, this is Alpha. Radio check on frequency 100.1, over.
Alpha, this is Bose. Radio check frequency 100.1, loud and clear, over.
Roger, out.
Montez, this is Bose. Radio check frequency 100.1, over.
Bose, this is Montez. Read you, Lima Charlie on 1001, out.
Montez, this is Bose, loud and clear out.
Foster, this is Bose.
Did you just
Radio
forget
check.
your own name?
Yeah. Yes, First Sergeant.
Alright. This is what we're gonna do. We've been going for a minute. And I need new coffee. Thanks to the sheer fucking amazement of how bad that was. So, we're going to take 5 minutes. I'm going to get coffee. You guys are going to pull your heads from within your asses and unfuck these radio checks. It is not difficult. Calm down. Take a fucking breath. And relax. You've got 5 minutes. Your time starts now. We will redo this when I get back. Jesus fucking mother of all that is holy Christ.
So
I will be right back, guys.
station is not, you don't have to call the guy behind you. And so any station in this net, this is, then you say your station or your name. Then you go to your frequency 100.1 or decimal 1. Then you're gonna call over, never out, over. Alright, so the guy will respond, this is his station. I read you Lima Charlie or 5x5 on the frequency 100.1 and call over again. So you need the response. Only then the first station calling will out the transmission by Roger out or solid copy out or copy out. All right?
You want to give it a go then?
Yeah, let's do it from the top. I'll start. To any station in this net, this is Alpha. Radio check on frequency 100.1 over.
Alpha, this is Bose. Radio check frequency 100.1, loud and clear over.
Copy out.
Alpha, this is Montez. Read you Lima Charlie on 1001 out.
Negative. Then Bose will start his radio check. Mine was done. So Bose will start his, and then Montez will respond to Bose. Go Bose.
Yeah, so I'm going to fire off a radio check here there, Montez.
Sorry, my bad.
Montez, this is Bose. Radio check frequency 100.1, over.
Bose, this is Montez. Read you Lima Charlie on 1001 out.
No, not out. Over.
Over.
2 from the top.
Want me to start mine over there again?
Yeah, start again.
Montez, this is Bose. Radio check frequency 100.1, over.
Bose, this is Montez. Read you Lima Charlie 1001 over.
Bose, loud and clear. Radio check frequency 100.1, out.
Yeah, that's okay. You don't need to say your station again, nor your frequency. Just Roger out, copy out. All right.
Sounds good.
All right, Montes.
Any station on this net, this is Private Montez. Radio check 1001 over.
Montez, this is Foster. Read you Lima Charlie on frequency 100.1, over.
Solid copy out.
Perfect. Go faster.
Oh, guys, has it been as much of a shit show as it was the first time around?
Foster, radio check frequency 100.1, over.
Oh, wow, they're actually fucking practicing.
This is Alpha. Radio 5x5 on 100.1. Over.
Solid copy, out.
All right, guys. One more time. Any station in this net, this is Alpha. Radio check on 100.1. Over.
Alpha, this is Bose. Radio check frequency 100.1.
Oh, yeah, it's very rare that motherfuckers will take the
Roger,
initiative.
out.
That's why I beat the fuck out of guys so
Montez,
much,
this
man.
is Bose. Radio
Yeah,
check
you better
frequency
fucking step up or get the fuck
100.1,
out.
over.
I don't have fucking time for moderation and cowards.
This is Montez. Read you Lima Charlie 1001 over.
Solid copy out.
Fucking step up, do your job, and be willing to do the job of every fucking guy standing
Foster,
around you. If you're not willing to do that, get the fuck out.
Radio check on 1001 over.
Bose, this is Foster. Read you Lima Charlie on frequency 100.1 over.
Solid copy out.
Stark, this is Foster. Radio check frequency 100.1 over.
Foster, this is Alpha. Radio Lima Charlie on 100.1 over.
Solid copy out.
Hey, quick
Almost.
question, guys. Are we supposed to... So, I know you're Alpha on squad net, Stark, but are you Stark in our team net, or...
No, I would be Alpha. I think I don't have a name anymore.
Okay.
And we used 100.1 or decimal 1 just to not get confused by like 1001.
Okay. Sorry.
How's the coffee? It's pretty fucking tasty.
Training station is net. This is Alpha. Radio check on frequency 100.1 over.
Alpha, this is Bose. Radio check frequency 100.1. Loud and clear over.
Roger, out.
Montez, this is Bose. Radio check frequency 100.1. Over.
Bose, this is Montez. Read you Lima Charlie on 100.1 over.
Solid copy out.
Foster, this is Bose.
Valiant?
Radio
No.
check on 100.1
Even if I did, I wouldn't take it.
over.
Never taken any drugs.
Montez, this is
Strongest
Foster.
thing I've ever taken
Radio
was a
Lima Charlie on
fucking 800
frequency
milligram Motrin.
100.1 over.
Solid copy out.
Unless you count Monster and
Alpha,
cigarettes.
This is Foster. Radio check frequency 100.1 over.
Foster, this is Alpha. Radio 5x5 on frequency 100.1 over.
Solid copy out.
Alright, much better.
Outstanding.
Montez,
Bet you guys don't fuck up a radio check again.
First Sergeant.
Now you guys start to understand what they mean when they say repetition builds memory. Do it over and over and over until you don't fuck it up anymore. And I can guarantee you ever fuck up a radio check again, I won't have to yell at you because you're going to be kicking yourself in the dick. Now, does anybody have any questions before we move on?
Yeah, real quick question there, First Sergeant.
I don't have anyone in this unit named, yeah, real quick question there, First Sergeant.
First Sergeant, question.
Not getting the point. What is your fucking name?
First Sergeant, it's Private Foster.
Then say Foster. Question.
Foster, question.
Send it.
Within the team net versus squad net, are we calling Stark, or are we calling him Alpha?
I don't care if you call him fucking Shirley as long as he answers. TeamNet does not matter. You do not have calling stations on TeamNet.
Thank you.
Alright. Want you guys to open your maps. Look out to the northeastern peninsula. Everybody see where my yellow dot is.
Yes, First
Yes,
Sergeant.
First Sergeant.
First Sergeant.
Alright. Now, we are currently here. We want to go here. RP1. You are going to take us to RP1 via this path. Does everybody understand that clearly? We are going through this path to RP1.
Yes, First Sergeant.
First Sergeant.
So when I tell you to move, you are going to follow that path to RP1, where you will short halt. Once we have reached RP1 and short halted, I will then tell you what to do from there. Does Does anybody have any questions?
For Sergeant.
No, for certain.
No, for Sergeant.
All right. Go ahead and pull your weapon off your backs. Alright, I will now be communicating to you via fucking radio, so do not expect to hear my fucking voice yelling at you until you fuck up. Alpha, this is actual.
Actual, this is Alpha Sender.
Alpha, this is actual. We are moving to RP1. Take us out at your discretion, over.
Will go. Alright guys, we're moving to
Roger,
RP1.
actual out.
Let's go wedge, strong left, jogging, guns down.
I think Stark is trying to impress me.
Ready, over. Ready.
Why the fuck are you still standing still? You can fall into a formation while you're moving.
We're heading bearing 068.
Is it working? Fuck no. The day a PV1 comes in here and impresses me is the day a PV1 comes in here and teaches me.
Shouldn't the AR be on the right? I mean the left?
Yeah, I think so. Isn't the rifle supposed to be on the weak side?
I thought it was a grenadier.
I think they can flip-flop back and forth depending on team lead.
Stark?
Listen, send it.
Do we want to figure out this formation real quick?
Alright, keep AR to my right side, Grenadier and Rifleman to my left side.
Okay, just making sure. Out.
Jesus Christ.
Scanning right, nothing observed.
Roger.
Alpha, this is actual.
Actual, this is Alpha Send it.
Hold position. Jesus Christ, these guys even got me fucking clusterfucked. Alright, stop moving.
Hey, Bose.
Get back for me. Actual, this is Alpha.
Alright. The reason why Bose went running right fucking by you is because you didn't actually transmit on the radio to hold position. Now, I didn't take you guys through formations yesterday. Sergeant Smith was able to relieve me on that. However, the AR does not go by him fucking self. AR goes on the strong side. Strong side meaning there's two fucking people. Those two people is the AR and the rifleman.
Roger, first sergeant.
I said AR and the rifleman, so the grenadier moved over to behind the AR.
Are we still doing strong left, Stark?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, shouldn't Bose be on?
Well, you're on the fucking right side now. Get your ass back over there to the right side.
He said strong left, though, Staff Sergeant.
I'm not a staff sergeant. I'm a first sergeant. I am aware of what he said. I am not fucking deaf. He was on the right side. I just told him to move back to the right side. Move back to the right side. Montez, move over to the left. Foster, move over to the right. Now, this is how it should have looked when I walked up on this formation. However, there is one big problem here. Can anybody tell me what the problem is?
We're too tight together.
Exactly. If a fucking grenade lands right here, you are all fucked. Need to space it out. Lastly, when you're moving in formation, you are doing exactly that. You are fucking moving. You are not doing this fucking annoying stutter step bullshit where you move 3-4 steps and then stop and then move again and then stop and then move again. It's one of the most annoying fucking things that guys do. And it pisses me off to no end. Because what ends up happening is all the guys behind you end up running into the fucking back of you and you cause a slinky effect through the entire goddamn formation. If you are moving at a certain pace, then move at that fucking pace. If you need to stop, then you call that you are halting, and then you stop, so that guys don't run into the back of you. It's fucking pointless to be running out on point and stop, and then call that you're stopping. Because then that spacing that you had is now gone. Everybody understand that?
Yes, sir, Sergeant.
For Sergeant.
Now, given your guys' current position, down inside this little draw here, does anybody have a guess as to why the AR should be on the right?
Because the left side is protected
Def-
by the hillside. That's
There you go. You got deflate on your left. Right side, nothing there. Bigger threat is to your right. You put the bigger gun where the bigger threat is. If something engages you from the left, you can drop down into that deflate and you're completely covered. Something engages you from up on top of that hill, you're fucked. So you put the AR over on your right. Everybody tracking?
Yes, sir, Sergeant.
For Sergeant.
This is what I was talking about as far as situational awareness. Okay? Now, this is not me busting your balls saying you're doing it wrong. This is me pointing out to you the tiny fucking details that will get you killed. It's little shit like that that you have to pay attention to. And it will serve you in the long run. Alright. Whenever you're ready, Stark, keep them moving.
Alright, everybody ready?
Roger.
Let's keep moving, jogging, bearing 075. Let's go.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Mind your spacings.
Yeah, Cookie, there's 4 days of OSUT.
Alright, we're going to a halt here. Halt. Actual, this is Alpha.
Montez. Where's your sector? I promise you it's not your team leader's left ass cheek. There you go. Good initiative, bows, but unless you plan on shooting a fuck ton of grass, it's gonna be pointless to be prone.
I will PT you all until you fucking die!
There you go. This is a short halt posture. Guys, did not break your formation. You're covering your sectors. And Foster's got rear security. Now what you guys are going to do is set up security on that danger area directly ahead of you. So Stark, whenever you're ready, get up there and cross the danger area.
Stark question. We're gonna cross the road, is that it?
Say again?
We're gonna cross the road?
Yeah, you're going to set up danger area crossing on the road up there.
Roger.
Alright guys, let's move, guns up. Keep formation. Alright, gonna set up for the crossing. Me and Bo's gonna get the near side.
Insta, as far as getting started in ArmA, that's really going to depend on what you're interested in.
Bose, Roger.
Alright, me and Bo's moving to set up secured. Watch the spacing. Alright, Stark set.
Bose set.
Alright, team 2, you clear to cross.
Montez set.
Congratulations, Foster's dead.
Foster set.
You aren't set for shit, you're dead. Get your ass back down there in that hole. Who can tell me why Foster's dead?
I could not see because I was watching my sector, First Sergeant.
Stand up and turn around. Why is Foster dead?
There's no radio communication.
He's dead because he's fucking by himself. One, you guys didn't call that you were moving. Then you moved across the road. Foster went to clear the hide. And guess what? There's a red arrow down there. There's a bad guy. Just shot him in the fucking face. Where's his battle buddy?
Nowhere near him.
Yeah, you're over here humping the dirt. Your ass is back to the other side of the road. Let's do this again.
That's First Sergeant.
Alright, Boston.
Alright, me and Bose will get near side. I'll be facing northwest.
Jesus fuck, man.
Bose, Roger. Will be facing southeast. Ready.
Moving.
Bose, Bose moving.
Start set.
Bose set.
Alright, team 2. Clear to move over.
Alright, moving. Out.
Foster moving out. Montez, we have a hide over here.
Roger. Out.
Bose, move yourself over here to the left where you can actually see down the road and open up this gap between you and Stark. Move forward a few meters.
Foster set.
Northwest. Montez set.
There you go. You almost had it right there. There you go. Keep look. Go back to your left. Turn back to your left. There you go. Foster, why am I telling you to look to your left?
Because there's a
You don't need to tell me on the radio.
There's a giant ruin there. That's a good hide.
Yep. Now why don't you need to look over here to your right?
Because Bose has already got it.
There's a fucking machine gun pointed right at it. There you go. Bose, why do you not need to look at your left?
Because there's another gun on the other side.
Your name is not Bose.
Bose for Sergeant. My fire team partner is covering that arc.
Exactly. Stark, what are you covering?
Covering the road, sir, First Sergeant.
Montez, what are you covering?
Covering the trees up ahead, First Sergeant.
Alright, good effort, but in actuality you guys aren't covering dick. You have a slight hill in front of your fucking face, so you aren't covering anything. Go ahead and go up to a kneeling position. Now you can fucking cover something. You can see over the hill slightly. If you cannot see, or you don't have good eyes somewhere, then set yourself up so that you do. Alright, if you're laying prone, yeah, the enemy can't hit you, but you also can't hit them. Alright, in order to be able to engage, you gotta put yourself in a little bit of danger to do it. Does anybody have any questions?
No, First Sergeant.
No, for
Yes,
Sergeant.
First Sergeant.
Who is yes?
Montez. First
Send it.
Wasn't there supposed to be a all clear kind of phrase used once we clear our side of the danger area?
Call far side security set.
Thank you, sir.
I am still not a fucking sir.
Thank you, First Sergeant.
Alright. We're gonna do this one more time to make sure you guys got it fucking down pat. So move your happy asses back to the near side of the road. Alright, bust them.
Alright guys, we're gonna set secured. Me and Bose will be on the near side, that will be facing northwest. Over.
Bose Roger, taking southeast.
Alright, stand by. We're going to simplify this a little bit. Stark, you don't even need to use directions. Okay, you guys have the same direction of travel, correct?
Yes, First Sergeant.
Which way are you going to look down the road?
Left.
Bose, which way are you going to look down the road?
The opposite, First Sergeant.
What's the opposite of left?
It is right, First Sergeant.
Alright. So you don't need to try and figure out, no, okay, which cardinal direction is that? Road is horizontal. You're coming at it from a lateral direction. You have the same direction of travel. Very simply come across the radio. I got left, you got right. Go. Alright?
Roger, First Sergeant.
Alright, get it done.
Alright, I got left. Let's move.
Bo's sticking right, moving.
Start set.
Open up that gap. Spread out the gap. Couldn't fit my nutsack through there, let alone a fucking squad in formation.
Foster moving.
Montez moving.
Montez, I got right, you got left. Let's check the side first.
Roger.
Foster set.
Montez set. Far side cleared. Out.
Far side security set.
Alright, Stark, far side set. What are you supposed to do now?
Alright, let's cross those.
Bo's on you.
You're going to cross the danger area without telling your squad leader that the danger area is secure.
Actual, this is Alpha.
Send it.
Danger area is secure.
How is the danger area secure when you're on the other fucking side of it and I'm over here?
Alright, we have to get back and let the squad rest through. Our set both.
Bo's set.
Actually, this is Alpha.
Send it.
Danger area is secure.
Roger. Last man.
Last man. Last man.
Alright, rally up here on me. Foster, I'm not going to bait you. You can get closer. Alright. Now, we've spent way more time on that than what we ever fucking should have. But I have very high fucking standards. And I am not going to let you guys shit the bed and just fucking squeak you through. There's a reason we're the biggest fucking realism unit in the world. That reason is, we are the fucking best when it comes to professionalism and getting shit done right. Reason for that being, because I don't let the little shit fucking go. So understand something. From this point on, it's only going to get fucking harder. Now, that means you have a choice. You can be a little bitch and fucking give up because you're tired of the first sergeant busting your balls. or you can nut the fuck up, learn from your mistakes, and keep pressing forward. Simple choice. But like I said, it's going to get worse from here. What we're going to do now is head over to the actual maneuver range, and you guys are going to practice bounding. Remember, we talked about bounding in the classroom, right? There's alternating bounding and there's successive bounding. You're going to be using both. Luckily for you, it's going to be dictated by your cover and not by what you decide to do. Now, does anybody have any questions before we move over there?
No, for Sergeant.
For sure.
All right, follow me. All right. Now, bounding can be done at any level. Fire team level, squad, platoon, doesn't matter. You can bound. All right. Now, you guys are going to be bounding at a fire team level, so that means you're going to be bounding by buddy teams. One buddy team is going to bound, and then the other buddy team is going to bound. Now, as I said in the classroom, it's important to verbalize what you're doing. Now, the way you're going to do this is that one team is going to call set covering. The other team is then going to call bounding. Now, usually the way this is done is that the team leader and his 2IC are the ones that do the radio calls. Now, the 2IC is the second in command. He's the guy that takes over if the team leader goes down. So, Stark, who's your 2IC?
Will be Foster.
Alright, so Foster, you're going to be the guy in the other buddy team making the radio calls. Now, this is easier for you guys at a team level because you're not using two different radio frequencies. If you were bounding at a squad level, Stark and the other team leader would have to coordinate amongst themselves when their teams are moving. You guys at a fire team level don't have to worry about that because you're all on the same radio freak. So again, one buddy team is going to call set covering. And once they do, the other buddy team will call bounding. And then they'll move to the next piece of cover. When they get to the next piece of cover and they're set up, they'll call set covering. And the first team will call bounding and they will move. Now, the important thing to take note of here. When you say set covering, it means exactly that. You are set behind your cover and you are covering down range. Your rifle is pointed down range, ready to engage a target should it present itself. It does not mean you're sitting there fumble fucking around behind cover trying to figure out where you're going to look. If you call set covering, it means you are ready to put rounds down range. Does everybody understand that?
Yes,
For
for
Sergeant.
Yes, for Sergeant.
Alright. Now, there are targets down at the far end of this range. However, you are not going to be firing at them. This is going to be a dry run. Alright? You will leave your weapons unloaded. However, you will have your weapons raised. I want one buddy team on the left set of walls, one buddy team on the right. Move.
Right, me and both on the left.
Seen guys break shit. I've seen guys break here. I shit you not. I have watched, well, not really watched per se, but I have heard a fucking PV1 cry in OSUT. How in the fuck someone would fucking cry, I don't know. Foster Montez, how long do you think this wall is? There you go. Alright, carry on. Yeah, in ArmA. It was,
Alright, team 1 moving.
is it last year?
Moving.
I think it was last year. Like, it was around winter time or some shit like that. It was during the last day, during the
One set,
FTX.
covering.
I mean, they were shit in the bed hardcore.
Team 2 bounding.
And, this kid left his battle buddy behind. And, I started busting his ass on it. And I could physically hear him crying.
1 bounding. One set, covering.
Team 2 bounding.
Moving.
There you go. Stand up and fucking run. You are moving from cover to cover. Do not take your time doing it.
Team 2 set covering.
1 bound. One set, covering.
Team 2 bounding.
Thanks, Gray.
Moving.
I guess.
Team 2 set covering.
1 bounding.
Why the fuck does that guy keep moving to his left?
One set, covering.
Team 2 bounding.
Moving.
Team 2 set covering.
1 bounding. One set, covering.
Team 2 bounding.
Moving.
Team 2 set covering.
Alright, hold there. Now, can anyone tell me why Bose was the only fucking person that bounded to cover correctly? Anybody have a guess?
He went prone in.
He went prone into cover.
There you go. He actually got behind the fucking cover. Doesn't make any sense to go behind cover and just leave yourself exposed the entire time. These walls are short. Run up there, hit the fucking deck, and then the enemy has no idea where you are behind that cover. And you can pop up anywhere behind that wall and shoot him in the fucking face. Everybody understand that?
Yes,
For Sergeant.
Alright. So now, we are going to practice peeling. You guys are going to peel to the left. So, Stark, when you are ready, give the command to peel left.
Firefighting, peel left.
Montez, move back over there. You have to unmute your fucking microphone to call that you're peeling and that you're the last man. Stark, start it again.
Fire team, peel left.
Roger. Montez moving. Peeling. Last man.
Foster peeling.
Last man.
Bose peeling.
Hey, fucking Christ, where is he going?
Start peeling.
Foster peeling.
Hold. You maintain the spacing that you had from the guy next to you. So if a guy was 3 meters off your left, then you move 3 meters to the left of the guy on the far left when you are peeling left, so that he is 3 meters to your right. You do not need to go on a fucking Lewis and Clark expedition when you are peeling, especially if you're the first guy peeling, because that means the guy following behind you is going to have his dick out in the wind that much longer running through the open to get to your left. So now, we are going to peel right. Stark, whenever you are ready, peel him right.
Alright, 13, peeling right, start moving.
Left minute.
Bows peeling, moving right.
Last man.
Montez moving. Last man.
Foster peeling right.
Last man.
Start peeling right.
Last minute.
Alright, hold. Now you guys started on that wall over there. Left and right on a horizontal axis does not end up looking like this. If what was engaging you was to your front over there, all along that fucking line, by the time any of them popped up, say in that general region, you two wouldn't be able to fucking engage because you'd be shooting right across the fucking face of your buddies. Because you are on line with each other. However, your line is now all fucking cattywampus in comparison to where you started. So, get yourselves back up there on the wall where you started. Alright, Stark, when you're ready, peel left.
Fire team, peel left over.
Roger. Montez moving. Last man.
Foster moving.
Last man.
Bows moving.
Last man.
Start moving.
Bows set.
Alright. You call last man when you pass the guy right fucking next to you, not when you get down to the end of the line. As soon as you get behind the guy that is next to you, you call last man. And that is his cue to immediately pick up and start fucking moving. So, let's peel to the right.
Fire team, peeling right, start moving.
Last minute.
Bows peeling right.
Last man.
Foster peeling right.
Every one of them stand up and fucking, like, stand there for a second and then start moving.
Montez moving. Peeling right.
The fucking lost cause. I'm not even gonna have time to do the goddamn live fire. I have to do it tomorrow.
Start beating right.
Or next weekend. Alright, go ahead and hold there. Alright, sling your weapon, school circle on me. Alright. Coordination still needs some work, but I don't have time to sit here and hold your fucking hands all day. We've already gone way over time on this shit. Now, normally we would move on to the live fire portion of this, but we don't have time to today, so we'll have to bump it to day 3 next weekend. As I said earlier, you guys have now got a little bit of experience as to what this is going to be for you. Not only here in OSUT, but in the unit as a whole. And you got a choice to make. Either you fucking show up next weekend or you don't. I can't make the choice for you. It's entirely fucking up to you. But that's gonna be it for today. We don't have fucking time to move on to the other stuff. So next weekend, we'll be back at it for days 3 and 4. The same time. Make sure you're here on time. Don't know what on time means? It means you're 15 fucking minutes early. You don't understand why you're 15 minutes early for everything you do, then there's a bigger fucking problem there. But make sure you are on time. We will get in here, get through days 3 and 4, and provided you fucking perform well enough and you pass that quiz, you will graduate OSUT. Does anybody have any questions at this point?
No, for Sergeant.
Sergeant.
Alright. At this time, as you are in the training pipeline, as you should have been informed by your recruit instructor, you're not allowed to take part in the large-scale operations yet, not until you graduate OSUT, but you are allowed to fill in for trainings. I highly recommend you guys do so if you can catch one. Or do some fun ops. Hang out with some of the guys. Do whatever the fuck it is you can to train and learn. Next 2 days you guys got ahead of you are not going to be easy. It's going to take some fucking work. But if you guys put in some fucking practice, you're going to be fine. Now, until we reconvene next weekend, if at any point in time you have a question, concern, whatever, I am your direct fucking chain of command. You bring it to me. You send me a PM on the forums. If I do not get back to you within 48 hours, then you can go to Sergeant Myers. No one else. That means you do not go to the fucking company commander and ask a goddamn question. You come to me. Is that understood?
Yes,
For
sir.
Sergeant.
Yes, for Sergeant.
Yes, for sir.
Alright. That's it for today. You guys are dismissed. Enjoy the rest of your fucking Sunday evening. Happy New Year. Don't be a dumbass and go out and drink and drive, because when you motherfuckers kill yourself, I'm gonna come kill you again. Get the fuck out of here.
I have
Alright guys, that is gonna be it for today. So thank you guys for hanging out, and all of you new guys that followed. I appreciate the support to the channel. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and see, next stream will be, I think, Thursday. I'll be taking a few days off for shit going on, and Thursday I got a race, and then Friday, and then normal weekend procedures. So I will not see you guys again until probably Thursday. And yeah, see y'all later. Happy New Year, motherfuckers.